It's Brian with GreyWolf Towers again. So this video is definitely a more unusual one for my channel. I've already filmed the intention of this video and I wanted to refilm it where I was a little calmer, a little less emotional about it. The reason for this video is because about 3 to 6 months ago, I purchased a laptop, the same model as this one here, for my daughter who's a senior this year. And the reason that I bought it for her was for her to be able to do schoolwork on it. And I went and got her this one. It has similar specs to a laptop she had before that worked perfectly great for her. The only issue was that the screen died, so I replaced the screen, and then the laptop just stopped booting altogether. And it was used when I got it. So the fact that it was already like a year old when I got it, and then she used it for about a year or two after that, it was a decent lifespan to the computer. She really likes the smaller screen form factor. She likes the 11.3 inch or 11.6 inch, whatever it is, which is why we went with this one as a replacement when that one died. Has essentially the same CPU, a little bit more memory, or a little bit more storage space, and then the same amount of memory or RAM as the one that she had before. This system is the Jumper laptop EZBook X1S, and it is 4 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, a Celeron, double check here, Intel N4000 CPU, and then it has 128 gigs of storage. It is eMMC, so it's not as fast as an SSD or an NVMe. But the cool feature about this system is that it has a little door that you can undo a couple screws, open up, and you can slide in an NVMe or an SSD M.2 drive. And that way you can have faster storage or more storage. And it is overall a nice laptop. It flips into a tablet, so it's the 2-in-1 where you flip it around and it folds into a tablet. It does not have any support for styluses whatsoever, so you have to use your hands, which kind of limits some of the usefulness of it. But it does have touch screen, and then it's got the flip around screen for that. The one really strong negative about it is the fact that there's no stylus, so you cannot draw on it, for instance, at least not professionally. The reason for this video, however, is not the specs. The specs themselves are fine. It fits the needs of my daughter, for example, and performs perfectly fine for her as far as the specs. The reason for this video is to share that I do not recommend buying from Jumper brand unless they're in your budget and they're the lowest option that you can get and you cannot afford anything better. The reason for that is that from the day that I opened the original one, the wireless did not work. And I want to say I included that in the initial video. If not, then the update video for like the 2 weeks of usage. I should have updated that. And so the Wi-Fi, she had to use a little dongle, little USB dongle to connect to Wi-Fi steadily and to make sure that she had a good connection. Otherwise, it would drop every like 30 seconds to a minute, and it'd reconnect, and then it'd drop, and then it'd reconnect, and it just drove her nuts, drove me nuts. And I was just like, you know what, here's a $10 adapter, and the $10 adapter worked better than the laptop adapter. So that's one giant negative. A bigger negative is the fact that within 3 to 6 months of using it, the battery completely crapped out and the system would not run without being plugged into the wall. And less than 6 months, that's insanely bad. So I cannot in good conscience recommend this brand to my viewers. Does that mean that you should never buy it? No. There are certain situations where, you know, it may be the lowest priced item and performance-wise it'll be fine. Now, good and bad news about the failures is that I did go through the RMA process with them. Overall, the process was simple, but it was time taking. Like it was immensely long waits between talking to a representative, getting to the next steps. It took about a week and a half to 2 weeks before I even got a hold of somebody after leaving them a message before they responded back. Then after that, it was 3 to 5 days between communications, letting them know, you know, this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong. Them saying, oh, okay, well, we need this information or we need that information. It was about a 3 to 4 week process to get them to ship out a new laptop. Now, in their favor, when I told them what was wrong, they said, look, we're gonna go ahead and replace it with a new laptop. Send us the old one. Here's a label. So they provided the shipping for me to ship it in, which is unusual. The only other company that I've ever seen do that is Samsung. They'll give you a label for like an NVMe drive when it dies and it's under warranty. They'll give you a label, you send the drive in to them, and then they'll send you the new one back. Essentially the same thing happened here. I told them that the system was dead. I explained to them the system issues. They said, we're going to send you a new one. They sent me a label. I printed off the label, packaged up the package, shipped it in, and they shipped me a new one. So this is a new one of this system. And so I'm going to see what I can do with it. I haven't decided if I want to run Linux on it and see if I can get a little Linux experience going, or if I'm going to see about giving it to somebody so that, you know, it can be out there for use with somebody else. I kind of am leaning away from that only because I really don't want to give somebody a bad piece of technology, and I don't fully trust it. So we'll have to see whether or not I decide to get it out there to somebody else or to just like run Linux on it or something. But I just wanted to go over an update video for the Jumper Laptop EZBook X1S. The functions of it or the usage cases of it are actually pretty decent for schoolwork and for basic artwork and for just fun. It does have some usability there. However, the parts don't seem to last long enough. Now, I may have just had a lemon and they replaced it, which is great. So I'm gonna at least be able to toy with it or whatever. But would I recommend it to somebody who can afford better? No. Would I recommend it if you are limited in budget and this is the only option you have? Yeah, I'd be okay with saying, you know, there's this option. But again, if you can afford better, go with better. So that aside, that is today's video. I was originally going to put this out before I did the one for the system that I got to replace this one for my daughter, but I ended up getting that one filmed and edited before this one was filmed. So this one will be out afterwards, and I do hope that it helps you to decide whether this brand or this model of laptop is the right one for you. If it did help you at all, make sure you hit the like button down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button that should be in this general area here, and that way you can keep up to date on our new videos and our community section. And then, as always, if you have any questions about myself, the product, or the channel, make sure you leave those down below in the comments section or on Twitter @TowersGrey. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.